This is what we like to call synergy. I'm live. Whoa, what's good with the YouTube and YouTube bust? It's your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And welcome to Up with a Cup in the Morning with Chuck. Well, we not responsible for the truth that you may or may not hear. This is what we like to call synergy. Man, what's good? I know it's been a minute since I went live. You know, there's a little situations and stuff that's going on. But in the meantime, I'm going backwards. But check it out, my Christmas tree. I'm still put, saying we got to put the direct decorations and stuff to make it, bing, bing, bing. That's coming up soon, real soon. I mean, it's good. It's gonna be some good old fashioned fun and some cool and all the other good stuff. Just trying to make it. Oh, so you can see that. And I'm gonna start putting some trees around and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Life is good. Life is good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. So, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for coming rock with me. You know what I'm saying? It's up in the morning with Chuck. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be up with a cup and up with a cup in the morning with Chuck. Hey, it's been a minute since I said that. So we gotta get back into our own routine. But anyway, though, man, I was hearing about the situation about with Mo3, right? Now, the thing about it is, my last seen Mo3, he was on the he was on the YouTube channel with Mike Tyson, him and Lil Boosie, right? And me and my people, we was having a discussion about why Mo3 wasn't talking or even interacting back and forth. And I was like, man, the way you look at Tyson, when Tyson was talking to Boosie, he was looking like, okay, people was talking about like it was like a jailhouse thing, right? So you thinking about it like then a jailhouse talking back and forth, Tyson. Just think about it. If it wasn't Tyson, it could have been anybody else. Like if we was having this conversation, I'm talking to you like people don't like how you could say like men like being that extra masculine talk where you try to talk like you are, yeah. So people not used to that no more, right? Because that's how OGs used to talk to us back in the G, right? When we was growing up. So like me and Boosie around the same age. And I remember Boosie, he from South Baton Rouge, I'm from North Baton Rouge. So I kind of understand then, by being down too. So I kind of understood the situation from a different perspective. So when Tyson was coming at Boosie, he was like, well, is you this? And Boosie like, nah. What do you feel like this him? And then, Tyson trying to find out exactly how Boosie feel, you know what I'm saying? With him just coming straight like that. So Boosie really feels like this, he gonna stand on what he said. And exactly what Boosie did, that's Mike Tyson, let's be honest, And I'm gonna say like this, I was joking and playing around, but let's be honest. When Tyson was saying that, Boosie was like, but this is where I stand on. And you could see a little grin in the crack of Tyson's face, right? He liked the fact that Boosie was like, this is his beliefs. And his belief system is this, but now Tyson had to explain to him about being in the industry. Just because you have a name, just because you have this here, who are you to do this? What is your purpose? Why are you saying this here? I mean, if you're gonna do it for a reason. You get what I'm saying? Have a meaning behind why you're doing it. Don't just do it because I feel like, because you have people behind you now. So I don't feel like it's not just about me, it's about we. Like with me, with the movement, it's about we, right? So when I was saying but I was seeing Tyson trying to break into the Boosie, right? And then when I see him talk, when he was talking to Mo3, he asked him a question. He was just like, hey, saying, what's up with you, okay? So he didn't really know who he was. And he asked him about, hey, so I see you got all this here. He said, yeah, these are just achievements of what I did. And Tyson was like, okay, and boom, back on Boosie, right? Because in that scenario, that's the case of it was either one or two things. But it was like basically it was like, okay, you was a saying from the perspective of you're a lost cause for me, and I'm putting toward this here because he actually gonna listen and probably this knowledge gonna hit him. Mo3 is just not wasn't at the level where he'll sit back and be able to converse back and forth with Tyson and be able to still be casual about something like that, right? So it's kind of hard to say that situation. But when we seen it, it was just more like Mo3 was just sitting there like he was just like, okay, I'm just in here just cause Boo in here, so I'm here. So whatever we doing, we in here. So regardless. So when I was noticing that about Mo3, we was all talking about the situation about how Mike Tyson was trying to school Boosie about how to become a man and how to live and get past this all this stuff that's going on, because you don't have to be a part of what people say, oh, you got to be a gangster, you got to be doing this here, you have to be like this way of life, right? Your whole purpose of being able to make it out is to help other people learn how to make it out and change, right? So that's the whole case scenario what Tyson was trying to say. But you have a lot of people behind you that whatever you do, it has a big effect. So I was hearing, you know, saying we was discussing and talking about that about between Boosie and Mo3 and how they connection and how they start collaborating, right? Because everybody like I remember we was listening to Mo3, like his first song, Everybody Ain't Your Friend, that song right there, it automatically related to a lot of people, right? Because especially when you when you living through life, right? You start going through these experiences, and through these experiences, this is one of the case scenarios. Like you'll find people that you really thought that was your friend or your partner or your homeboy or somebody that was really close to you, but then they in actuality they don't have no good intentions for you. They do it for themselves. So that's why when I was listening to Tyson talk to Boosie about this case and about the second case scenario about friends and friendship, and it kind of related to me like, okay, when Mo3 was talking about on his song, like everybody ain't your friend, everybody ain't your partners, right? And to be honest with you, Boosie really Mo3 put him on that song on the strength because Mo3 had the song. It was like one of them songs. If you ain't, you know, you could tell that was his song, but boom. So Tyson was telling him about friendships and who is your loyalty and stuff like that, and how betrayal and how you think of people gonna bend on you, right? So when Tyson was telling him about that, I was like, okay, now this is where Mo3. I was more looking forward to seeing Mo3 hop into the conversation because he have a song that's directly toward talking about how he feel in this case scenario, right? But he was just sitting back and he was doing them numbers like while Tyson talking. And my homeboy pointed out that he was like, he said he remember at that age and how he kind of had that same mentality, like he was a quiet, but only thing he was like, he was thinking, well, wait, my homeboy was describing it. I don't know. But like I said, I'm not responsible for the truth that you may or may not hear. So he was saying that Mo3 was just sitting back and he didn't know how to take this whole scenario between this dynamic and Tyson and Boosie. He just sitting back like, fuck it, if Boosie died, we died. Knowing we in here fighting Tyson. You know, that's why he wasn't talking, right? And he said probably when he left out, he was like, man, fuck him or something like that. Like I ain't, you know, whatever like that, you know, with that mentality. I'm like, that's a possibility. That's a possibility why he probably didn't say nothing when Tyson was talking about friends, right? And when he was talking about friends and loyalty and how you know, respect and stuff like that, and the people that you respect, and it was like he told Boosie, like, okay, what do you call respect with loyalty and stuff like that? So he was like, basically, he was saying like, oh, people that don't rat on me, don't turn on me, and then it was like, okay, what you do for them? And he was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I give them this, I pay care of them that, there, I would never, I bond them out of jail and stuff like that. And he was like, well, so you do this so they could do that. You don't do it just because this is what you want to do. You do this because you want this in return. So that make you feel like that let you know what what loyalty really is, right? You doing this for something in return. So when I was looking at that, and I was peeping Mo3 out, and he was kind of like, that's when he kind of like, when they were showing him, he was kind of like, oh, and he kind of gave like more of an interest into like what Tyson was saying now, and it was like he was more relating. You could tell like the saying that tension level started dropping again, and that's when you start noticing them going back and forth. But Mo3 was just more of a person. What he actually made more of a. I was telling homeboy he made more of an educational answer when he said these are achievement trophies of some achievements of accomplishments that he did. So like Tyson couldn't. What can you say? And I was like, because in reality, that makes sense. When somebody purchases an automobile, been working at a job for so many years, and they able to get this here, it's just it's an achievement of a stepping stone of a different standard. But at the same time, I'm more of a I don't care for subscription services that much, not the most. I used to be subscription. I rather go to subscription service, but then now it's like subscription. There's so many subscriptions. Well, I'll be having to cherry pick which ones I'm gonna use because I might be paying 6 months of this one, but then might not use it. But then turn around 6 months later, I might be on it hard. So I like, okay, I'm just gonna cherry pick like Netflix or Hulu or whatever like that, and I choose between the two. And then what I do is I take 6 months of this and 6 months of that, and I catch out when Netflix got all the movies that I want to see come out. I'll be watching some Netflix movies, and then like when the TV shows and stuff like that be on Hulu And who knows what Hulu gonna be doing now since Disney got their hands like on it. So who knows what they're gonna be doing. So I might kind of have to switch that scenario up, at least from my standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But with that, let's see. Before I get to going to 2 for a left. I'm trying to go up. Let's see about Mo 3 and what they had to say about him and the scenario, right? So with no further delay, let's check out the news. It's not jacking for topics, but there's gonna be reactions. Yeah. See, I'm doing it live. I gotta get back into the groove of it. There's reactions. So let me see. The reaction of the news what I'm gonna call it. So the reaction of the news report of the rapper Mo 3 getting shot. So before I start, I'm just want to give y'all a heads up that this is a reaction, right? This is not no this is a reaction to what the news got to say about about the passing of Mo 3. And they said before I go into the reactions, right? I want to talk about the situations of Mo 3, right? Now the thing about it is they were saying that Mo 3 was riding down he was in Dallas, Texas, right? And he was riding down Interstate 35. Now I used to live in Dallas, right? And the interstates are huge, like huge interstates. So you have multiple lanes, and then they say in Texas everything is big. Trust me, in Texas everything is big. Like so, saying I haven't seen exactly what happened, but I heard the scenario was he was on the interstate and he got shot, and he was running down the interstate, took off on foot, running down the interstate, and got gunned down, and they had somebody, an innocent victim, got shot as well. So we about to find out now. Let's go ahead and get the diving. Okay, here we go right here. Boom. And
to help them solve the murder of a Dallas rapper. I'm Doug Dunbar. We're streaming live as we always do on CBSN DFW.
Yeah,
Tonight, only on CBS 11, we spoke with the manager of Melvin Noble. He is known professionally as Mo 3. He told us about the rapper's rough start and how he overcame the odds to help others.
I watched him rise as a star from a regular kid with basically homeless, and I met him, to a person with power and enough revenue to support his family and everybody around him.
Dallas police are telling us that Mo 3 was shot on I-35, R.L. Thornton Freeway, right near the Dallas Zoo, and it happened just before noon today. This was the scene. Police say that he ran from the car, but the gunman chased him and then fired multiple shots, hitting him. Also a second man.
All right. This was yesterday. So he said today, but this was actually yesterday.
Man who was sitting inside his car at the time was hit. Mo 3's manager says that he was a father of 3 and he should be celebrated. He believes that's the way he would have wanted it.
It's not a time to be sad. I seen somebody come from nothing to something. From decades and decades, his kids will still be a part of him and be successful because of him. So if he was here right now, he'd be smiling saying, I lived my life, I had fun.
That $5,000 reward I mentioned a little bit ago comes from Crime Stoppers. Police are telling us tonight they still don't know a motive. They don't know who the gunman is. The only thing they can share is that the gunman was driving at the time a dark-colored car.
And that's the best information they can give people is he was driving a dark-colored car. I mean, come on now. When they were talking about the information they can give. Stop. Bam. So yeah, so basically in the middle of the daytime, only thing that they seen was a dark colored car. That's the only information that they have. Well, I'm gonna mind my own business about the information that they have, but with that, let's see what else they got to say about it.
A Dallas rapper was murdered outside of his car on I-35 near the Dallas Zoo. Hello, I'm Steve Eager.
And I'm Heather Hayes. It is a stark example of the city's struggle to control violent crime. Police say the victim, a hip-hop musician named Mo3, was approached by the killer on I-35. Both men stopped their vehicles. The victim got out, took off, started running, but was shot several times on the highway. A bystander inside another vehicle was also hit. Police say that person did not suffer life-threatening injuries. Police are still looking for the shooter.
Nope. I go back again. And this is the last one. Let's see what they got to say.
This is how you order all this delivery food for cheap.
Hey, you know what that is?
Okay, so first, Domino's.com, choose your favorite.
I'm about to figure out how to outwit.
A Dallas rapper is dead today after he was shot on I-35. 28-year-old Melvin Noble, also known as Mo3, was shot on I-35 northbound near the Beckley-Zane curve. DPD says that Noble was approached by a gunman, a suspect who was driving a dark-colored vehicle. Noble apparently got out of his car and ran southbound when he was shot. Police also tell us that the gunman shot an innocent bystander as well.
The suspect, who was armed with a firearm, began firing several rounds at the victim, striking him. In doing so, the suspect also struck an innocent bystander who was sitting in his vehicle.
Noble was taken to an area hospital where he was later pronounced dead, while the second victim's injuries are not life-threatening, we're told.
Damn. Yeah, I know that's sad. You know, we have somebody that had so much talent to for us to lose at such a young age. Still had some of his best years ahead of him. But while I'm going through this here. Well, rest in peace to Mo3, and we are all grateful for the opportunity to be blessed with the music that you have that's going to be with us forever. So you're going to actually live on for eternity. Most people are not going to even have that opportunity. All right, well, let's hop off of Mo3 and let's run to some let's hop off some Mo3 and let's see what else they got going on in the world today. You know how we be rocking, you know, we be just doing it. Man, what's good with it? Man, it's your boy Cup. I'm up. Hey, then it's my first cup of coffee this morning too. This ain't even my I ain't even get no early morning start before y'all. This is literally my first cup of coffee. But let's get to some other things that's been going on in the news. Matter of fact, I know y'all been hearing about all this crazy stuff that's been going on with Donald J. Trump, that he's not supposed to leave the White Office. Now, with me personally, I had a video that I just put out not too long ago about how Donald J. Trump can prove voter fraud. Now, when I was talking about that, people was looking like, say, Chuck, there's no way possible Donald Trump could prove voter fraud. And I'm looking at everybody like, bro, it's simple. It's very simple. And they got all these educated people, politicians around Donald Trump, and they haven't figured this out. I'm telling you, I had the Trump card and I put it out in the air. Oh, my bad, my bad. And the reason why I had to put it out in the air is because it benefits us all, right? And I'm looking at Joe Biden or Donald Trump. I ain't vote for neither one of them, to be honest with you. And the reason why I didn't vote is for Joe Biden or Trump is simply because they neither one of them sold themselves to or prove themselves as a person that I want to see in front of me, right? I'm not voting against this person because this other person, like, I don't do that. It just don't, to me, it's not tasteful. That look to me as a bad look on the country. I'm a vote for this person, not to vote for you because I believe in what you stand for. It's because I'm a vote for you because I disapprove of what this person stand for. So, but that's not getting what I want. I want to vote for the person that stand for what I believe in, and I vote with my, so like how when you purchase games, you vote with your wallet. As in, if you don't want this in something, you don't participate in it. You don't purchase it. So if people say, you know what, I'm not voting, boom, and they would be like, oh, this is the lowest voter count of all, and then they would have people that thinking like, you know what, I'll run because I could have made more votes for like that, and people have more of a mind state of that. Okay, I need to do stuff for the people because if I don't do stuff for the people, they're not going to vote for me. They're not going to vote for me just because he's messing up or they don't like what he's doing, so they're going to vote for me. Just because he's not getting this stuff done for them, so they're going to vote for me. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just sitting back, so there's no progress for me. So with those types of things, it's not beneficial for us as a community, us as a people. So with that, I don't care for voting just to vote against a person. So if y'all voted for Joe Biden on a sole purpose of you felt like you had to get Trump out of office, you failed. The reason why you failed is because of you still have Trump in office without knowing it, and his name is Joe Biden. And the only thing that's different is he got a more slicker, smoother look to him. He gonna say things to you, unless that's what everybody want. They just want to be comforted. Joe Biden tell you everything that you want to hear, and then once you tell the things that you want to hear on this side, he still do things this way, and the media are gonna make it look like he doing what he said he doing, or to a degree, or he can't get this done. He trying to get this done. He's fighting for the people, but he can't get these things done. Everything that we trying to get done, he can't get it done, and he trying so hard. But all those things that Trump was doing and getting done and doing and stuff like that, Joe Biden still doing the same thing, just hurting against the people, but he just doing it in more up-fashion, slicker way, or however you want to call it. So when I seen that, I was like, you know what? Trump is not the person that I'm going for, but Joe Biden is not a person I'm going against. You get what I'm saying? So now let's get me some. I want to get some Trump in right quick because I want to hear what some of these real reporters. I'm a reaction to some of what these real reporters have to say about Donald J. Trump and how you see how my point about they not really for the people. They just fear mongers, right? And when you fear monger a person, they make a person feel like, oh, I'm going over here to vote for this person because I'm helping out this other person. In actuality, you only helping out yourself because of clickbait, because that's what all that is clickbait. It make a person want to clickbait. So with that, we about to go ahead and get to diving into some Trump fear mongering and stuff like that. Reaction to how Donald J. Trump is going to get how Donald J. Trump can prove voter fraud. With that, we're doing a little reaction to warm up to this. Let's do this.
Good evening, I'm Seth Meyers, and this is Late Night. How's everybody doing tonight? That's fantastic. Let's get to the news. When asked about President Trump's refusal to concede the presidential election, President-elect Joe Biden yesterday said, quote, "I think it will not help the president's legacy." Oh, yeah, it'd be a shame to tarnish that. What was it going to be? The man who finally stood up to the sun? President Trump tweeted today that he was, quote, now preparing to win Wisconsin. And next week, they will beat Hillary. According to estimates, President Trump has been offered book and television deals that could be worth $100 million, but he still won't come out. President Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery today in observance of Veterans Day. And while he was there, he helped put out a fire. You're welcome. That's right. President Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery in observance of Veterans Day. Trump and Pence were respectful of the dead while...
Oh, yesterday, I want to give a shout out to all of my veterans. Happy Veterans Day from yesterday. The ones I didn't get the opportunity to see, that's something else too. I'm sorry that I cut out in the, time out. Hey, look, this is something people don't know. On Veterans Day, if you see a veteran, just say Happy Veterans Day. Just say it. That's it. Time in.
Melania and Karen were jealous. Senate Republicans yesterday unanimously re-elected Senator Mitch McConnell as.
I'm not gonna say it. Y'all could be creative. Look. I'm not gonna say it. Y'all could be creative. Look right here. Y'all see this right here? His head, body shape. Look at him. Y'all be creative. I'm not gonna say it.
Majority leader, though they had to do it twice because out of habit, he blocked the first vote. First Lady Melania Trump has reportedly not reached out to incoming First Lady Dr. Jill Biden about a transition. Oh no! Now how she's going to learn the best hiding spots? In a new episode of his podcast, boxer Mike Tyson said that he used the urine of his infant son to pass drug tests when he was competing, which explains why he once tested positive for Similac. Officials in Washington, D.C. are preparing for the far-right hate group Proud Boys to protest.
All right. What I mean by fear mongering, watch. I haven't seen this film, but I can almost point it out when he do the fear mongering, right? So what I mean by he doing the fear mongering, you see this point right here. He about to talk about the Proud Boys, and he about to make them sound jokey, but then sound dangerous.
Test the 2020 election results this weekend. Preparing how? Are they opening another register at Wendy's? Macy's has announced it will not have a Santa Claus at its flagship store in New York this year due to the coronavirus pandemic.
All right, okay, your joke's good. We joked it out him enough.
Ibotta is partnering with Walmart to give away free Thanksgiving dinners while supplies last. We'll handle dinner so you can focus on what matters, even if you're far away. Download Ibotta for free today to get your free dinner. Ibotta.
How Donald J. Trump approved fear mongering, right? Not fear mongering. How you can prove voter fraud? Go ahead,
possibly 12
days
since Joe Biden was declared president-elect and Kamala Harris's sassy white friend. And since then, he's been busy trying to prepare his team for office. But it's not going smoothly because Donald Trump, one-term president and tenant from hell, is still going through all the stages of grief: denial, rage tweeting, undermining democracy, and back to denial.
The president's latest moves indicate that he is not ready to concede anytime soon and that he may not leave all that gracefully. Several sources throughout government agencies indicate that President Trump has put out the word through his staff that he does not want any federal agency cooperating with a Biden transition team, and further that he doesn't want any government agency doing anything that would imply.
I mean, that's because he want to make sure everybody is thorough and correct, because look at the score. It's still so close. They trying to make it seem like that's a big landslide, right? Oh, it's not. But if you get one or two of those to flip, that number would change completely. And that's what they fearing, that if Donald Trump is able to get some of these change in his favor, that 270 would drop to that 279 could drop 10% and go to 269. And at 269, that would change this whole outcome of this election. Once again, y'all can't forget about that. Matter of fact, y'all hear me out right quick. I'm gonna put a tweet out to Donald Trump personally. I don't know if y'all can see this or how good this is. I'm putting a tweet out so he can come to this channel and see if he get here. Y'all say, hey, real Trump. I know it's real Donald Trump. I'm just gonna put Trump, and I bet you pop up TRUMP for you. Real Donald Trump, boom, with his head in the middle of it, right? So I'm gonna put him on here, and I'm just gonna hit send just to see what that do. Maybe he hop in, maybe he don't, but we gonna find out. But check this out. Let's continue on. So basically, Donald Trump is trying to be thorough and make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. Because if you look at that 279, if it loses just a tiny bit, that 10% to give Trump that 224 and give Joe Biden that 269, right? He get that 269. That'll make this whole dynamic change again, right? So now you have a different dynamic. That dynamic is unpresidential, right? That'd be something completely different. All the way to that'd be putting us, in my eyes, that'd be us entering the fifth dimension of the multiverse. I gotta wait one more hour. Yeah, I gotta do some update on my computer, but we gonna we gonna do this, and then after this, then I'm gonna do my update on this computer. I know it need to be done because it's about that time. But with that being said, now just think about this here. Boom, you take that 10% drop, right? That put Donald Trump right back into the race. Now, I'm gonna drop how Donald Trump can prove voter fraud, right? But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let this fear mongering build up some, right? You gotta let the beat build up, and I'm gonna prove how Donald, well, not prove, but I'm a solution. That'd be more of a word of voter fraud. But I call it my Trump card, and I sell my Trump card to Donald Trump for like we playing poker. I don't know how to play. I know how to play poker a little bit, just not enough to make a reference about poker. But anyway, though, let's check this out. We're gonna continue this fear mongering with Donald Trump, and y'all keep in mind this 279 Biden win. If Trump could get some recounts, and that 79 could drop to 10%, like I said, different ball game. With that, man, Yang Gang. That's what we're gonna be rocking. That's really where I'm going. Because I have some friends that's pro Donald Trump, and I have some friends that's anti Donald Trump. But I don't have nobody that's pro Biden. Is either pro Donald Trump or anti Trump. Biden is just a bypass. You see, Biden bypass. So anyway. That's all he is. Therefore, I don't see no reason to vote for that person. That's why I said I have a Trump card that's going to make a lot of sense. Everybody that heard it was like, damn, you know what? That will change the whole game. And it has something to do with all this voting count and stuff like that. But for the moment, I digress. Let's continue on to this fear mongering.
That Biden won the election. We're also learning that the White House has started to press these agencies to come out with a budget for next year, as if there will be no change at the White House.
One administration official telling the Washington Post, quote, "They're pretending nothing happened. We're all supposed to pretend this is normal and do all this work while we know we're just going to have to throw it away," end quote. The Trump administration is reportedly also continuing to vet new political appointees for jobs in a second Trump term.
President-elect Joe Biden Tuesday criticized President Trump's refusal to concede the election.
I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly. The only thing that, how can I say this tactfully? I think it will not help the president's legacy.
Shame, guys. Joe Biden is right.
Yeah, Joe Biden is right. But let me tell y'all something. Y'all know that, like I just said previously, I'm Yang Gang. You know what I'm saying? Not Democrat, not Republican, not left, not right. We moving forward. Fly like an eagle. See no Evo. And ain't no sequel to this. Yeah. But left or right? We going forward. The forward party, right? That's where I want to be at. And I want to be there even if it don't exist. That's how cool the forward party feels to me. If I was the only person a part of the forward party, I'd still be content. And if you want to be a part of the forward party, it's no statute of limitations, right? You could be pro Donald Trump, anti Donald Trump. It's not about that. You get what I'm saying? That's what made the forward party move forward, because we're thinking about solutions. We ain't worrying about who did what and who did this, right? The forward party is not about that. The forward party is about moving forward. So if I can help this person help us, why not? Same way Ice Cube did. If Donald Trump was willing to talk to him, why not? If Biden saying, well, we're going to wait to talk to you. Okay, well, I'll wait to talk to you. But if you want to talk to me now, I'm going to talk to him now. Why would Ice Cube be simply like, oh, well, Joe Biden said he's going to wait till after the election to talk to me, but Trump is in office right now, the sitting president, and he's willing to talk to me at this precise moment. Logic, you know what I'm saying? Forward. I'm trying to get things done. When Nancy Pelosi with her spoiled ass, literally probably ass spoiled. But boom. So with her sitting down there talking about not giving us our reliefs and the stimulus packages because of she want to go back and forth with Donald Trump. Now I want to see her sit down and eat hot dogs, or have to share a hot dog, or have to take a cold bath because her lights off. I want to see her do that for a week and see how fast she's past the stimulus package. What I don't like is a person that haven't been in the mud. Like, I don't like bosses. I'm not a boss. I never wanted to be a boss. I really can't stand being a boss. A leader, a leader is, okay, this need to get done. Boom, I'm jumping head, I'm diving with you. No, bam, we in here. Okay, let's get it. And you see, a person that's doing it, and he working, he doing it, and that made me want, okay, I help get in there with you. Let's get it. Boom, boom, boom. But you know, a boss, he want to sit back and watch you. Man, hell nah. But Trevor, what you got to say? My African brother. And look, I'm darker than you. That's because I'm Creole.
Does Donald Trump really want denying the election results to be his legacy? Because I'd like to remember him as the president who kidnapped kids and helped kill 240,000 Americans, not for this. And please, can somebody tell me, how is Trump still vetting candidates for new jobs? What's that job interview like?
So tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Nah, bitch, where do you see yourself in 5 weeks? Trump is the kind of captain who would have been taking job applications on the Titanic.
So Daniel, do you have any experience working on a sinking ship?
Okay. I gotta give it. She got some good ass writers. You know what? I would have to power up to the next level, and then I'll be ready for. I'm gonna compare the jokes. Like, see jokes like this here, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna start letting him do this here, and I'm gonna not dissect them, but I'm gonna one up them. You know, up, cut, one up.
Should we leave? A lot of people are jumping overboard.
Don't worry about them. They're just being dramatic. Let me show you where you're gonna be sleeping.
I mean, guys, it must be so uncomfortable working in the White House right now because everyone around Trump knows he lost, but they've got to all go along with the lie. That's got to be exhausting, especially when you're already running a fever from COVID. But look, I'm sorry, Donald. This just isn't going to work. You can't pretend that everything's fine when the whole entire world saw you get fired. My nigga, if people in Bosnia know you don't have a job, you do not have a job. Honestly, people, I don't think Donald Trump has ever looked more pathetic than this. And yes, I'm including the time he played tennis in his sport diapers. Because the only way that he can overturn the election is to prove that there has been nationwide voter fraud. And the truth is, that's just not panning out.
Election officials in states across the country report to the New York Times no evidence of widespread voter fraud. The Times reached out to top election officials in every state to ask whether they suspected or had evidence of illegal voting. None reported any major voting issues.
As for Pennsylvania, the president claims, and I quote, Pennsylvania prevented us from watching much of the ballot count. The Trump campaign went to federal court about this. Judge Paul Diamond, the George W. Bush appointee, heard the arguments. And by the end of the hearing, under questioning from the judge, the Trump campaign lawyer admitted, contrary to his initial complaint, that, yeah, there were,
this reaction to what I call
fear judge in Michigan dismissed a lawsuit over access to ballot counting. She cited lack of admissible evidence and whether the campaign had even sued the right party.
This is my
in
live
Georgia, the campaign
reaction,
sued over.
And on top of live reaction, dropping my points. Like I said, see that 47.9 and 50.5, and you see all these so close. If he get any recount, right? See, people don't realize this here. This is what they saying. Oh, Biden have enough votes where Trump can't catch him even if they do turn a couple over and they change 10 points, right? 10 points, 10 points, maybe 11 points. I'm just saying 10 points because if it's 10 points plus, game have changed. And I ain't talking about Trump getting enough to tie Biden. I'm talking about Biden not having 270, right? So now we go into some unpresidential information, right? That's why I say I got y'all. Y'all just got to stay tuned. I got to build up a little bit. I got to start learning how to do this a little bit better. Some people be more crafty with it. I just be straightforward telling y'all why I'm doing it. Trying to grab up some time. So, but appreciate it because I ain't asking for nothing but a like, subscribe, share. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just for this information, I just want y'all to share it, and get other people to share it, and get shares to share it. Like how they do chain letter shit, or however these other YouTubers do it. I want to get in there like that. Yeah. Forever. Now, back to the fear-mongering of the Trump.
Over late mail-in ballots allegedly being counted. The judge dismissed it again for lack of evidence.
Yep. Trump's claims are being thrown out in the courts all over the country. Michigan courts, Georgia courts, federal courts.
Yeah, it's gonna get thrown out the court because they're not coming at them with the right information. I have this key information to prove voter fraud and how to do it. It's simple, you know, real simple. It takes somebody that got, you know what I'm saying? They say that the most dangerous people is not the people that's book smart, it's street smarts that use street smarts to learn book smarts. Yeah.
Even food courts are like, man, get your bullshit out of this Panda Express, Donald. He's getting thrown out of court so fast. The bailiffs don't even say, all rise. They're just like, nah, y'all can keep sitting, man. We won't be here long. Yeah, y'all just stay where you is. And here's the thing, guys. Everyone knows Trump lost. Even Donald Trump knows that he lost. You know how you know this? You realize you haven't seen his face since they called the race? He hasn't shown it. You think that if Donald Trump really thought he'd won, he'd be hiding? No. We know this guy. The guy would be holding a victory rally every single day. He'd be flying around the country on top of Air Force One, doing that weird jerk-off dance that he does. And just so we're on the same page, reporters haven't found widespread voter fraud. Election officials haven't found it. And even the courts haven't found it. So now, Republicans are putting out a mass call for voter fraud investigation volunteers.
Republicans continue to search for widespread issues. In Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
And I'm from Louisiana. Matter of fact, you know what? Appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I'm coming. Hood shit. I'm gonna go re-up on my coffee cup. Hopefully y'all drinking something with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we up. What's good with it? We in here. I'm gonna play this up by time. This shit keep doing this on my live reaction. By the time then, now my cup will be filled back up, and then I'll still be here with the live reaction. I'm gonna give y'all my opinion about the situation. You get what I'm saying? Let's do this. Go.
Patrick is offering up to $1 million to incentivize, encourage, and reward people for reports of voter fraud, even though there has been no evidence of any there.
Right now, we're in an evidence gathering phase. That's why we have a hotline, and that we're asking people to let us know if they have any of these irregularities that they saw. We'll pursue them, and then we will pursue legal action.
The Trump campaign has set up this voter fraud hotline, basically, where it could field calls about these allegations of voter fraud. I'm told actually a lot of those calls have been prank calls that have been coming in.
Oh man, these poor lawyers. They're going to be getting into court like, Your Honor, I have a sworn affidavit proving voter fraud from a Mr. Seymour Butts and his good friend.
Oh, he got those jokes. He got those jokes, huh? I got you. But look, voter fraud is real. I can prove it. I can prove it. Y'all think I'm just joking and going to anticipation to make it build up? I'm making it build up anticipation because I really want to see if I could actually pull it up and get Donald Trump to actually jump in here. Just even if he don't say nothing, but I want to make sure that he here or somebody in his cabinet be able to come in or whatever like that, and they hear this something so small, something so simple, something so easy that if they want to go with the Trump card, you know what I'm saying? This is like in fail safe, right? What I mean by fail safe is once everything start going in a certain direction, you need something that's called a fail safe, right? And this will be the fail safe, right? What I mean by, let me go back here to the history, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I mean by. Matter of fact, if y'all just want to skip ahead and want to know exactly what it is without me telling y'all what it is, I'll have to wait for me doing this anticipation. Go to
with respect to these 590.
Go to the last video with what I had did. I said you'll see me looking out of a mirror, right? And out of a mirror, I'm doing this here, and I'm actually showing you voter fraud, saying proof of voter on Trump proved that voter fraud. Hold up, let me clear my throat. Yeah, the Trump proof of voter fraud, right? And it's simple of I break it down right then and there. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna do it now. It's time to do it because I don't know this next hour thing gonna go through. Let me come back here and go big so everybody can see me nice and fat, right? Boom. There it is. Christmas tree. All right, let's break it down. Y'all ready to do this here? Proof that Donald J. Trump can prove a voter fraud. Now, this is how you could do this, right? what I was saying, I was seeing about these police officers, they was talking about voter frauds as in people that have to be staying at this location within the last 30 days. Now, within these last 30 days, you're able to vote in this location. People have been voting in locations where they moved to, and that is illegal because you're not eligible to vote in this location if you move within these 30 days, right? Now, with that being said, Trump can do this here. And this is where it comes in, right? Now, everybody heard about this this unemployment that was going around with this with California, and people was changing their identification or changing their where they stayed at to California to go get this, what it was, 18,000, something like that. I'm not sure, or whatever this amount of money was. If somebody know how to do this and let me get it, I'm with it. Look, vote will be right there with, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, though, hey, so look. But anyway, so what Trump could do is he could pull off the ultimate Trump card. Now, check this out. You have to be staying in the location 30 days to be able to vote, right? And if you move and within this 30 days, then your vote wouldn't have count. Now, with that being said, Trump could have it widely available for the information to people that say you can have it like this in a person's head. You can take your vote and stick with Joe Biden. Because if you was voting for Joe Biden, I get it, you want to vote for Joe Biden. Or was you just voting against Trump because the media was telling you Trump wasn't doing nothing for you, right? Now, Trump could put out a second stimulus package, right? And he could have it, and he could have it remotely available for everybody, right? Let's say the stimulus package is $1,500 or $1,200, whatever they did, but you could double it to $2,400 or whatever like that in certain states, right? As in, you know, different states get different amounts, and you raise the amount in California, or unemployment, right? Or with the unemployment. So now people is going to get this unemployment money, but if you change where you stayed at, you'll be able to get more money. Now, with you being able to get more money, you would have to make a moral decision. And this moral decision is if you change and have it available and have it free where everybody will be able to do it, right? Just like, boom, you get money, you get money, you get money, right? So now the thing about it is a person say, well, if I do this, then my vote is going to be taken away. It's not going to count because of it's going to have showing that I move locations within this voter period where my vote wouldn't count in the area I voted in. But I'm gonna get $2,000, $18,000. Joe Biden is not going to give me this amount of money in 8 years if he get reelected after he get elected for these 4 years. I'm still not going to be able to receive cash money in my hand to be able to open a business, purchase a new car, put money on my house. Is this will. And people thinking about that $15 an hour scam. Let me explain to y'all if y'all don't understand about $15 an hour. I prefer minimum wage be $5 an hour. And you could drop it all the way to $1 an hour. That part, or you can give it $100 an hour. That part, it does not matter. What really matters is the value of this dollar bill. So if the value of this dollar bill drops, even if they give you more of it, you still got, instead of, let's say you're paying $7 an hour, right? And you buy a box, a $7 box, right? And minimum wage go up to $15 an hour. Now, when you go to the store to buy the same box you bought for $7, now this box is $15 because the value of the dollar to drop. Simple. But that's why I say it's an illusion to make you think that raising the minimum wage is going to, the basic standard living, that basic standard living ain't going to go up. Come on, there's no way around it because you got to pay people more to make the same stuff that costs the same product and they want the same amount of margin to keep coming through. So if they're coming through, who will ultimately play the people that's purchasing stuff? It just makes logical sense. They don't want y'all to know it. So please leave me alone with that $15 an hour. UBI, different ball game. You have to understand, we just get money from people that's sucking money from us that's not paying no taxes, not paying nothing back, not giving nothing back. They just sucking free money away. That's what the UBI is going to cut that and just say, hey, we want our portion and spread it through the people, all taxes. But which I don't want people to have money so we can start having things. So things like that. But Donald J. Trump, his Trump card is to make sure that people in their minds, they have to make a decision. And I can guarantee you, the black voters didn't vote for Joe Biden just to vote for Joe Biden, but they have to morally think in their mind, what's more important for me to be able to get money to do things, to provide for my family with a president that's doing other states making money because he's supposed to be a businessman. Let's make some business deals. Let's make the economy, make the middle class be able to have more and get more. So that means if the richer class to be richer, that means they would have to be a step higher. So that's gonna raise their bar to make them have more because the middle class is getting more. That means the poor people is being able to have houses and shelter, and that's gonna be the bar minimum for people. That's the type of level that's the only bad thing. I mean, it's nothing bad could really come out of it. The only thing is money will be able to be shipped around a lot more. The value might drop, but who knows? But I call that my trump card. So that's like if all else fails, just throw it into chaos. And the reason why I say that because I'm a part of the forward movement, and the forward movement is the way things is going, it's not working at all. It's not working. So it's either let everything just break up, or with Joe Biden, just keep everything going as quota. Because I don't know anything in the past before Trump that was actually there to help us. So if he's trying to go back to quota, what things was doing, so rich people can keep getting rich and they keep it so sly that we don't know what's going on, or at least we be exposed to know exactly what's going on. That's the only thing that I like, that we are able to be informed, because a lot of kids or teenagers wouldn't have been a part of politics of none of this shit if it wasn't for Donald Trump, because they hate him so much that make him more interested in it. He's the ultimate villain. But with that being said, the orange man, the pumpkin man, oh, I had called the pumpkin too. It was magnificent. I got the kids to do it. I watched more or less than anything. Very, very, very entertaining. But with that, let's see. We about going on an hour. That's all I wanted to get in there. Talk about some Mo 3. I want to talk about some Donald J. Trump trying to break in through the presidency. I got a lot of other things that I be want to bring out about, but I'm gonna talk about like the Marvel, the DC comics and all that. I'm gonna keep that for evening time stuff, afternoon, whatever like that. Morning time, early in the morning, y'all want to hear about this real stuff that's going on. So I'm gonna talk about that, little Donald Trump, little this, little that, and I'm gonna bring some crazy topics, right? Like, I don't know if I should talk about this one right now, but they be having people be doing some of the most outrageous things, right? And I be stumbling across it because I be doing a lot of dumpster diving, right? And I just be curious if I'm gonna start bringing some of these topics just to talk about, because some things you might not haven't even heard of or ran across. So you might say, hey, Triple Cup, man, check this out, man. Throw me some topics that's out there that might be so far outrageous. And what I mean outrageous is like, I wouldn't believe it. It's too crazy to be fake. It's too, too wild to be made up or some shit like that. I just put a little segment in there that way to give us some more entertainment going on. And then in the mix between the breaks that are on two conversations of the topics of this person and that person, or this scenario and that scenario. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody for rocking with me, even if you just came through to just say, whatever you just said, that's what's up. But I had zero opinion about that, because I tell people, and I'm still sticking to this here. I'm part of the Yang Gang, and that's why I stand. And I ain't moving around with the whole left and the whole right. I'm not with it. And I bet you Ice Cube need to sit down and talk to Andrew Yang. And Andrew Yang needs to talk to Ice Cube. Just like, hey, say, buddy, let me holler at you. I know that this is what you're trying to do, but about time you get into this step, and about 2024 when I get ready to run again, this is where I should be at. And I can help you X, Y, and Z. But I don't, but whatever you get accomplished now, just to let you know, come back over this way. Especially if you talk to him now, while he have more free time to network. So this is a bit of time that he need to be networking amongst like more of the youth, the rappers and stuff like that. Because a lot of these older people, he don't need to just go to them. What he need to turn out the youth. That's what Andrew Yang need to do, turn out the youth. To the fact of, the youth is going to really run this next 2024, right? But you have a lot of, like Andrew Yang was saying, and after you said it started making sense, because I was saying 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds is more interested in politics now. Getting the conversation started in high school, genius. Teaching kids about how to be entrepreneurs instead of robots, because robots are starting to do their own jobs now. We need changes and need to go forward. If we don't move this direction, you see this tear down with Joe Biden is going to bring with Donald Trump, and best believe, people is giving Andrew Yang back slack about this because he was talking about. Matter of fact, that's gonna be the third thing. I thought I about to leave out. My bad if y'all was gonna go. I'm ready to go get back up. I need to get I'm gonna type in that Andrew Yang, right? Since we own Yang and talking about the Yang gang and doing it, he was getting a lot of backlash about how he's standing, like we need to move on, still need to be thinking about what's going on, because you have something like 50% of the population, right? 50% of the population still voted for Donald Trump. You didn't have the other 50% of the population voting for Biden. No, you had the people voting against Trump. So therefore, and it wasn't all of, so you might have a couple of them was Biden supporters, but the majority of the people that was voting against. There was either for Trump or against Trump. It wasn't no in between. But with that, let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to look for the I'm just gonna type in Andrew Yang and see if I could pull up, because he was talking about I think they showed him on a Breakfast Club that he had did some stuff. So let me see. I'm on the laptop now. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. Here you go, right here. Andrew Yang on the Breakfast Club. Now we about to give our live reaction to Andrew Yang on the Breakfast Club, right? And we're gonna do our stops and pauses and all that in between. So I'm gonna give everybody a moment to join in here, the gang. I still got me some coffee, so I'm still good on that note. So that's a good thing, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, like them Texans, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Mo 3. You know how them Texans be like, know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we in here. Y'all know I rock with my people from out of Houston, Dallas. Yeah. I San Antonio, all the way at the bottom too. There's a lot of people out of Texas I rock with. Okay, I'm gonna put it out there on Twitter, let people know that it's about that breakdown time of Andrew Yang. What if I had got something misspelled? Okay, let's see right here. There you go. Boom. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, back to y'all ready to go ahead and get the reaction started? Up. Okay, this is the reaction to Andrew Yang breakdown on the Breakfast Club. Well, my breakdown of Andrew Yang on the Breakfast Club. Yeah. But before we get him started, Yang Gang. What's up? Check the topics. We in there. Turning. All right. Gang. All right, you see that look that Andrew Yang just looked on his face? See, he's not a politician, but you know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. Andrew Yang is a good dude, right? So he's not gonna sit there and say what I'm about to say. Joe Biden, well, oh yeah, Andrew Yang, you're a good person. When I get if I become president, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I would do for you, and I got this here benefits for you, and this is what I like your spunk, and I wish I could take this and this and this and this and that. And Young, oh yeah, you good. So when he got elected, he was like, who is Andrew Yang? Right. He had no sit down because at first Joe Biden was like, okay, he was trying to buddy up against Andrew Yang because he ain't know of Andrew Yang. He seen the build up because nobody have no build up like Andrew Yang have right now. Where's whoever following behind Kamala or Cory Booker or the Booty Buttigieg? Who following behind Booty Boo? Where y'all at? Where y'all trolls at? I ain't seen nobody talk shit to me about talking shit about him. I ain't seen none of this here. I was just waiting. I just did it, just poking, just trying to see if y'all was out there. That's all I was doing. I see the Bernie bros. They be like, ooh, Bernie bros. I see them. I see, everybody know about the Yang gang now. Everybody else. What about Kamala? Nobody. And then Kamala Harris. That's another person. But I digress. We. He said we have it's not about me, it's about we. That's one of my lines. I'm telling you. And that's how you know I fit right into the Yang game. When I seen that, I was like, it's not about left, it's not about right, it's about forward. You know, that eagle fly. All right, hey, look, check this out. Men. You see this right here? Let me tell y'all something. I got a beard. Even if you want to keep it short like that or grow it. You see, y'all can see my little cross, the little arrow thing right here. You see how he got it cut like this here? Don't do that if you're growing a full beard, right? If you're doing this here, don't cut it like this here. Because this leave all this, see this here? All this here? Cut it right here. Above your Adam's apple, right there to the corner. Cut cross here. That looks a hell of a lot cleaner. A hell of a lot cleaner. And he's in all this business, whatever like that. Just do that. I agree to that. Where is Booker? Where? I mean, and this is my second and third choice, not in a particular order. Where is Bernie Sanders? Where is I about to call it Gabby? I call her Road. Can't even think of her name. She got the little gray strip of hair from Hawaii. I remember. Now, yeah, I'm a Yang gang. I mean, he right. He don't have no part in this here. This that drain in the swamp, you know what I'm saying? This that Louisiana swamp mentality, you know, that thinking. Yeah. But voter fraud. Trump, if you were listening, or if anybody in this panel was listening, or know anybody that know anybody, make sure that this message get back to Donald Trump. The stimulus package. People getting stimulus package. People will not stand for Joe Biden and his thoughts if you could give us another stimulus package and double it down with the whole situation of people changing their locations, right? And have it widely available and don't penalize people for it and see what the outcome gonna be and then run with the voter fraud, because now people that have voted change their location to get money. See which one works. Anyway, 2024, Yang gang. Anything before that, it's not Grey Poupon.
Now, somebody mentioned
He don't want to be the mayor of New York. Why y'all keep trying to push him to be mayor of New York? Andrew Yang do not want to be the mayor of New York. I understand y'all begging for him to be the mayor, but Yang is, we trying to make the needle actually move. And the needle is not just New York. We need the United States presidency. We need to be in the presence of Yang. Oh. Okay. Let me explain a UBI to my people. All right, and how this works. UBI is the tech companies like Facebook, Amazon, they farm data. If you don't know what farm data is, that's when they get all of your information, they package a whole bunch of people with similar data information, and they funnel it to these companies to say, hey, this is how you could, like if you take something, you could dial it to precision. This is how you can market something to this person. It's almost like taking away your free will or free choice of what you're seeing. Like I could be in the house and let's say if I'm in here by myself and just me watching it, and the only commercial that's gonna come on is me and Che, put on this men video, oh man, dude, all this stuff. And then if you have kids and the child, they looking at it, then you're gonna see baby pampers and stuff like that. They're gonna cater to who you are. Even on Netflix, right? Depends on who you are. That cover is going to change, right? For the same movie. So I might be looking at something and the cover is going to present itself into a fashion that I would like. It might be a character that might got a little cameo in there, but they're going to make sure they clip this picture on there because they know that by me seeing this cameo, there's a higher chance of me watching this movie. You know, things like this. So with that being said, if we got our information that we want to make, we supposed to get paid for this because they getting millions of dollars a day by our information. So they need to at least break us off a fraction of this here, especially when they sucking all this money out and they never putting it back into it. Now, with that being said, let's bring it to the benefits of UBI. like how he was just saying down in New York, right, on 5th Street, how all these places is boarded up. And let's talk about the scum part of UBI. People talking about, well, these people here, they're gonna have all these drug habits and this and that, and they're gonna blow their money, right? Let's talk about the worst case scenarios. They're gonna blow all them, they're gonna take all their money and they're just gonna go spend it. Guess what? They gonna spend all their money. If they spend it, like they said, can't hold money, it burns their finger just to touch it. They got to get rid of it. If they feel like that and they got to just get rid of money, you feel like this person here, why they should have this money, right? This stability, right? Have money to have a place to stay and just and don't know how to save money, right? But y'all got to think about this here. You had this little community on 5th Street, right? And all they said they got 1,000 people that's like this right here, homeless on the side of the street, or they getting this money right here, or they able to get somewhere to stay or whatever like that now. But let's say this place is on 5th Street. I could open up a business right here on 5th Street. All these little people that's gonna steady spend $2, $3, $5, $10, $20 every day, all day, and you have 1,000 people and they getting money. So now this business, whatever I choose for this business to be, now is able to sustain because I have revenue that's steady coming into this business. Now I don't have to say, well, 5th Street is not making money, so I need to move all the way over here because the people over here have money. But now the people that's in these poor neighborhoods, I can invest into a great business for these people to look beautiful and have something that's nice because I know they have money on this side of town. So I can invest in something on this side of town. So guess what? Even though these people that's going to blow their money is getting this money, but guess what? They're going to have to blow this money and 99% of the time in the same community that need this Joseph money. So even if they blowing their money into the community that need this money, they're still doing the exact same thing that we need to be done. So it's a win-win. So now you have the people that's taking this money instead of working and saving and trying to build to have some things. Now they can have this money to go on, like you say, date nights or be able to do repairs or actually put money into a business or actually feel like they could start a business. You have single mothers though. They're in relationships with a person that they get is abused and stuff like that. They feel like they have nowhere to go. But now they have an opportunity to say, okay, I could do this here and I could start this here. You have college kids that was friends, but now they're not friends no more because of money issues and these two couldn't pay bills and this person wasn't getting his money and okay, or this person have to slave to go to work just to try to make enough ends meet to go to school, but then this person here have money to go to school, so he able to party and be free, but you ain't able to do this, and you have all these different dynamics, all these in one fell swoop with UBI. People wasn't ready for this here, but 2024, we got to go. But with that being said, I digress. One more hour. That's a question I would like to know too. Yeah. Eagle forward. Let's use the eagle for the forward party. Right. Right. Hey, see that point right there is something that we really have to look into, because a lot of people be talking about, oh, they came out to vote against Trump, but they don't realize they had more people to come vote for Trump than they did in 2016. So the people that was for Trump in 2016 just increased in popularity. So it ain't like he had less votes. It was just more people in 2016 felt like, okay, I'm just not going to vote for either one because I'm not voting for a woman president and I don't care about Trump. So they just sat out. Now they just it ignited them to actually go out here and want to vote for Trump. So with that being said, I digress. It's not left, it's not right, it's forward. The eagle is going to be our representative, not the elephant or the donkey. Yeah. Hold up, my bad. What's good with it? I thought I was playing the Yang video. It didn't even show.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest on the line right now.
Yep.
Andrew Yang. Yang Gang's in the building.
Hey guys, it's great to be here. Holy cow, what a week.
How's it going?
It's been a great week. I got a lot of questions for you, Yang. First of all, are you taking a position in Biden's cabinet, or are you going to run for mayor in New York? Which one?
Well, have you spoke to Biden since he got elected? That's the first thing.
I have not spoken to Joe. I traded texts with Kamala and Doug. It's a great question, Charlamagne, and we're looking at joining the administration. But to be honest, like right now, they have so many things they're balancing that I haven't had a sit down with anyone. And as you know, I'm heading to Georgia. Like the mission right now is less about me and more about can we have a Senate that will work with Joe and not have Mitch McConnell just blocking everything in sight. So my future is going to unfold, hopefully, the next number of weeks. But first things first is Georgia.
What do you want, though? Okay, go ahead.
Break down what's going on in Georgia, because a lot of people are saying that. What do you mean what's going on in Georgia? So explain what's going on in Georgia. They even wanted us, the Breakfast Club, to go out in Georgia.
We going.
And broadcast out there.
We're going.
I'm in.
You're going? That is awesome, because
Yes.
I'm going too. We can party down there. There are a lot of people going. The question is, how can we really be effective? I mean, you guys will be incredibly effective. I think I can be effective too. So what's going on in Georgia? You probably saw that Georgia was tightly contested. It looks like it's going to flip to Joe. But now there are two Senate races that are going to runoffs, and they're both the same day on January 5th. So if they both go to Democrats, it would be 50-50 in the Senate, and Kamala becomes the tie-breaking vote. So it's essentially Democratic majority Senate. If they go to Republicans, then you're looking at Mitch McConnell saying no to everything for the next 4 years, essentially. So there's a massive freaking opportunity and frankly penalty, like one or the other. It's either an opportunity or penalty depending upon whether we win these races. So I'm gonna head there. I'm moving the family down there next week, and just going to do everything I can to move the needle for the two candidates, Jon Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock. And I gotta say, their opponents are not great. Like one of them is Kelly Loeffler, who was one of the senators who was accused of insider trading on coronavirus intel, when they found out how bad it was going to be. Mm-hmm. She also is an owner of the WNBA team down there that was against the Black Lives Matter messaging in the WNBA court. Yes. So the players were sell the team. So that's who we're up against. She's also, you're not going to believe this guy, she's the richest senator in the U.S. Senate, which is saying something because there are a lot of rich people in the Senate. She's worth over $500 million.
Wow.
So question, I keep hearing them saying that the Democrats rigged the election. If they rigged the election, why didn't they rig the Senate and the House seats too? Just make it a clean sweep.
It's because they didn't rig shit, frankly. You literally have freaking Republican secretaries of state in places like Pennsylvania being like, we're just counting the votes like anyone else. And then you have other Republicans. The same thing is going on in Georgia. There's a Republican secretary of state there. And the two Republican Senate candidates are like, you should resign. And he's like, for what? I've just been counting the votes. Mm-hmm. It's just baseless conspiracy theories, man. It's terrible.
Now, Charlamagne mentioned New York City, and New York's in a bad place right now. And, there was rumors that you were thinking about running for mayor of New York. Is that still an option? That's still something you're thinking about, or is that still a possibility?
He just answered that crazy.
No, because he didn't say. He said, I got to Georgia. But after Georgia, is that still on his mind?
After Georgia, we're going to make a big decision. I will say that I love New York City. I was just in New York City this past weekend seeing Dave Chappelle for SNL. So Dave invited me and Evelyn, which was freaking fantastic. Imagine owing your wife like 1 million date nights, which I do. And then being able to say like, hey, do you want to go to SNL to see Dave Chappelle?
Did you do the mushroom tea?
Out of the doghouse.
Did y'all drink the mushroom tea?
You know, I'm not sure what they were drinking back there, but it was. But being like in the heart of New York on a Saturday night, Rock Center, and seeing the boarded up stores on Fifth Avenue and the rest of it, it's heartbreaking. We need to do a lot more for New York City, and I'm certainly going to do everything I can to help New York. As soon as this Georgia race is up, you know, my attention, one way or another, because one of the things that's real about what's upcoming is that the federal government and New York City are going to be tied together. Like, you need to have a federal bailout of New York City in a very significant way, which is completely 100% correct. You know, it's good for the country to have New York City back on its feet. New York City contributes a ton of economic value, much more than it's been getting back, frankly.
How did you and Chappelle get so tight? I know he endorsed you when you ran for president, but how did y'all, you know, form that type of relationship that y'all have now? He's inviting you to come see him at SNL.
It's the bonding effect of campaigning together, I think, Charlemagne, because Dave came out. So we first connected in California. He was out there, I was out there, and we just sat down for an hour, which was fun for me because he's my favorite comedian. And I was just like, well, this is great. But, you know, you don't have, like, frankly, that high hopes where someone like him's going to drop everything and then go to Iowa and South Carolina and campaign for you. But that's what he did. So then if you're hanging out together in Iowa, backstage in Ames, your teams are getting together, you're filming stuff together. So Dave's not someone who does things halfway. He's not someone who's like, hey, I endorse this guy, and then I'm going to post a message and then fuck you. Like, it's gonna, like, he's like, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go and make the case to the people in Iowa. He knocked on doors and called people in South Carolina. He did multiple shows for the campaign and then donated every dollar of the show's revenue to an organization that was supporting me. Wow. So if you go through that kind of thing with someone, then you become friends. And I'm incredibly.
All right. When I was saying about with this situation, you know, the video wasn't playing the first time, right? But Donald Trump, Dave Chappelle is like, when he first ran into Andrew Yang, it was like a clean, because, you know, Andrew Yang is a genuine good person, and Dave Chappelle, when he doing his things, he rich, he got money, he's happy, he's successful. He do it out of love. Now, everything that he do is out of passion, right? That's the lifestyle that I think about is rich and successful, when you can do what you want to do out of passion and still be free and successful, and don't have to worry about this cycle of bills, because you made your way out of this cycle of bills and have stuff where you able to live, being able to live. And with that being said, that's why Dave Chappelle seen what Andrew Yang was trying to do, and he actually was like, you know what I'm saying, it fit exactly into the category of how we all feel in this case scenario. Anyway, I digress. Continue.
Grateful to Dave. I went to Ohio for one of his shows and celebrated his birthday in the summer. And so we've just become friends in a really organic way, and I'm super grateful for it.
Oh, you definitely had the mushroom tea then.
You know, Dave's pretty, you know, like people want to partake, they can partake, but if they don't, he's not really much of like a, you know, a peer pressure guy that way.
He doesn't peer pressure. Yeah.
He didn't answer your question, Charlemagne, by the way. He didn't say yes or no, so he's gonna leave it at that.
But it was, I gotta say, have that experience with Evelyn was so fun, because we go back there and it wasn't just Dave. It was an historic episode of SNL. So there, like, Chris Rock was there, you know, a bunch of other people were there. Chris I guess is hosting this weekend. And it felt like history. It was wild because Dave kind of bookended the Trump presidency. You know, we all remember him bringing the Trump era in 4 years ago, and now bringing it out.
Question: What does Donald Trump have on Republicans? Why are they so scared to stand up to him, or as Joe Biden says, mildly intimidated by him? Why?
All right, short scenario. They might.
I am not.
they might be intimidated by him. They not really, but they just know that the time is about to change over. But you still got to work for the old boss until the switch over to the new boss, and then you continue whatever direction that they want to go in. So you go all the way with them to the bloody end.
This thing's a done deal. It's a wrap. Joe's going to be president. Everyone's just like playing along with Trump until Jan 5.
Mm-hmm.
Can Congress step in and stop Trump from firing people like the defense secretary and the Pentagon's top policy official? Because isn't that leaving the country vulnerable by firing all those people?
This is a very vulnerable period for the government because you have a completely checked out executive who's arguing for an alternate version of reality. He's firing, like senior defense officials and the rest of it. But there is very little that Congress can do because by the Constitution, the law, like he's the president, and it's in his power to do whatever the president can do until he's not the president anymore. Right. He's sworn out. So no one really considered this possibility pre-Trump, where you have this very strong tradition of outgoing president saying, well, lost, I concede. All right, let's talk to the new that you could improve if you actually got your act together and looked at it. The great fear I have, and it's played out for the stimulus bill, is that our government doesn't really work anymore. And the numbers I've been throwing out there, Congress right now has a 21% approval rating. Like everyone's unhappy. Incumbents have a 94% win rate. So think about those two numbers. It's like you can do a terrible job and we can all hate it, but you're going to win. And so that's why a lot of the change that we want has not been coming.
Now, besides the COVID and coronavirus and the pandemic, when Biden gets in office, what is the first thing you would advise him to focus on? If you was his advisor, what would you advise him to focus on besides COVID and the pandemic?
It's cash relief. It's trying to keep small businesses open, trying to keep restaurants open. Half of restaurants, independent restaurants, are going to close the next number of days and weeks. And if you're in a town and you literally have one restaurant and that restaurant closes, you're looking around being like, well, the lights are going out around here. That's happening in towns around the country.
Right.
So we need to get money in people's hands. We need to get money into small business owners' hands. We should be sparing absolutely no expense in that direction. And that also helps keep jobs around. To me, the message has to be jobs, jobs, jobs. So anything we do that can either help preserve jobs or create jobs, we should do.
Yeah, don't you think progressives and centrist Democrats need to have like a peace summit? Like y'all need to like sit down and have I think a public powwow and just have a conversation amongst each other. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. My take on it is like, look, we have to argue about what we can actually get done in the real world. In the sense that, like, I would line up, the vast majority of folks, if we had control over things, like they would improve things from where they are right now. It's just right now we can't get anything through the Senate. So yelling at each other about what we would do if we were in power is kind of, it's not really like helping us right now because the problem's Georgia. It's like everyone should just be focused on Georgia. And we can hash things out amongst ourselves after we're actually in power and can get some things done. But if you're not in power, I guess I understand how, like, if you're not in power, then you can argue about, it's like, well, we should be doing better. Democrats should 100% be doing better. Mm-hmm. The fact that that this was so tight, that we lost seats in the House, that we didn't get the Senate, should be a massive wake up call to Democrats that this is not going well, that what we are doing right now is not working.
If it wasn't for COVID.
All right. If y'all don't know, I'm a part of the gang, and at this point right now, we talking about the difference in betweens and how people was getting mad at Andrew Yang for basing his opinion about facts and things that we need to do. Progress, moving forward, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being left as a Democrat and right as a Republican. It's not about being red. It's not about being blue. It's not about being an elephant. It's not about being a donkey. It's about being going forward. Not left, not right. It's about being forward. And I'm still campaigning saying the eagle is the forward party. Anyway, though, I digress.
Donald Trump probably would have won re-election easily. I think.
Objectively, that seems to be the case. So that should be again a massive wake-up call. I certainly am taking it to heart, very deeply to heart. It's shaken me up. I campaigned around the country, and I was surprised.
Hey, Andrew, my background looked better than yours.
surprised that there was an extra 5 million Trump voters that came out between 2016 and 2020. That surprised me.
You know what it is? It's centrist Dems. I don't want them to think that the large voter turnout in 2020 was because people love Joe Biden. I feel like progressives are the present and future. Centrist Dems are the past to me in a lot of ways. And I think unless centrist Dems connect with progressives, I think the future of the Democratic Party is bleak.
Yeah.
The problem for centrist Dems is they're arguing for a status quo that is not working for most people.
Boom.
You know, so that's kind of a terrible place to be. And they need to actually have like some kind of positive agenda that translates to how folks are living life on the ground, instead of like a bunch of things that people didn't care about. I'll tell you, when I was going around, no one cared about impeachment. Like when I was campaigning, they cared about the fact that they couldn't afford healthcare. They cared about the fact that like prescription drugs were driving them bankrupt and into the ground. So there's certain things that translate very well. And centrist Democrats need to head to those communities and figure out why the heck it's not working for them.
Right.
You asked the great. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was your thoughts when it came out that Joe Biden was thinking about raising the taxes up to 62%? And also, I know you spoke about it a lot before, these big businesses like your Amazon and your Delta and all these huge businesses paying no taxes at all, and you have people out there struggling. What were your thoughts on both of those?
I was always hitting the Amazon story hard because everyone looks up and is like, how does it make sense that a $2 trillion company pays nothing in taxes? Netflix also. We love Netflix. I love Netflix. Chappelle's on Netflix. But I don't love the fact that Netflix pays nothing in taxes. Like, that's weird. You know, it's like literally it's one of our biggest companies. So the fact that Joe had a tax plan, to me, it was, it was like a proposal that you have to, again, get through Congress and the rest of it. Like, I thought the signal was fine. Like, I think that taxes have been too low on people who are making a lot of money for a long time. And that could be improved. But I didn't think that should be the central story. Like, I think you should be arguing for like a more modern tax system that captures the Amazons and Netflixes of the world. When I was campaigning, I was like, look, I don't care about the town dentist. Like he is not the person I'm after. Like, I'm after the freaking $1 trillion tech companies that are sucking $20 billion a year out of your communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, you asked a question about President-elect Biden. I can't remember what I saw you say it, but you said, you asked how is he going to improve the reality on the ground for the families in Ohio, Iowa, places that Democrats used to be competitive in, and now they're less competitive. What did you mean by that?
I think Democrats have gotten way too caught up in messaging and not caught up enough in what's going on in the average small town in the Midwest. Like, if the quality of life in that small town is going to shit, then even if you come in and, like you have like a positive unifying message, they'll be like, look, my kid's addicted to opiates. My store closed, my plant closed. Like, my town is dying. Whatever's going on is not good for me and mine. And Trump came in and said, hey, things are terrible for you, so let's throw rocks, blame the other people, blame the other guys, which is obviously a non-solution. It does not help anything. But it's a more appealing message to folks whose towns are sinking into the mud than things are working, like I'm sane, I'm competent, like let's all get along. Again, it goes back to what you said before about the centrist Democrats. The status quo is a loser. Like the fact is Trump represented change in 2016, and somehow, perversely enough, I think he still managed to represent change in 2020. I have like no idea how he pulled that trick, given that he was the incumbent president. But a lot of folks in Ohio and Iowa are seeing their way of life deteriorate, and they're looking for answers.
I can answer the question of,
I mean, you got to think about it. With their way of life deteriorating, when I was telling earlier about the UBI, right? Basically, just to sum it up, no matter who have their hands on the money, if they blow the money or whatever, they're going to have to blow this money inside of the community, right? That means this community could be able to grow. Like New York on Field Street, the places that's closed down, the people that's in this area has money to spend. That means business is able to grow and function, right? So you have to put money into, the trickle up economy, or you got to put money into the people's hand and let the people spend it onto the business that they choose that deems that's worthy of the money, and then people, capitalism can go, well, I want to get this for this, but then you gotta compete with this other person that's trying to do this here. So now this person have money, he has power to be able to say, okay, I don't want to spend all this money on this junk food. We want to have some a fruit stand where they sell fresh vegetables and fruit. I want to spend money on that. You know, it could be a whole bunch of different ways, but anyway, I digress.
Why he still was able to pull that trick off in 2020 is because of who he was running against. It's because Joe Biden has been in government for so long, and he's got a long, over a 50-year history, you know, of being in government. So I think that's what it was.
That was part of it for sure, where Joe represents a return to normalcy. And there are many Americans who wanted to return to normalcy. And as you all know, I backed Joe and campaigned for him. And I'm so glad that he and Kamala are heading the White House.
But what is normal, Yang? What is normal for a black man, or normal for a black woman, or even an Asian man in America? What's normal?
That's what I'm saying, is that normal has not been working for a lot of people. And
thank you. Them the words I want to hear.
Painful reality that centrist Dems.
Normal is not working. When Joe Biden is trying to get back to the status quo, how things used to work, running things where we not knowing exactly what's going on, that was not working. Even when Barack Obama was president, that was not working. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, it was not working. We need a complete shift change. Everything. That's why I wouldn't mind it with Trump tearing everything down, exposing everything. So now that the people, I don't think I was waiting for Trump to come out and say about the aliens. I'll wait. I digress.
Need to confront is like, why are people so dispirited, so angry, both in and outside of the party? There are a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden. I suspect you two might resemble this, who also are like, yo, Democratic Party, like, you know, get it together. Like what you're doing right now is not working for me and mine and my community. And we might support you because the alternative in this case was Donald Trump. But you got to give us more. And if they give more.
All right. Let me tell you why. Since I keep up with Andrew Yang and the stuff that's going on about with Joe Biden. This is what happened when they was both running for president. When Joe Biden seen Andrew Yang as a threat, he pulled Andrew Yang to the side and he told Andrew Yang out of his mouth. He said if he win election, he would love to have him a part of his cabinet and do X, Y, and Z, and he wanted all his input. He talked about how much good things that he want to use out of, and he was going for Andrew Yang, and he was doing all this good politician talk, right? So while he was doing all this good politician talk about bringing Andrew Yang into his cabinet and stuff like that, right? So after that, Andrew Yang talked about like how he had to talk with Joe and stuff like that. And then after Joe Biden has seen that Andrew Yang, he trying to push his policies, knowing that this was the best for the people, not for the quote unquote establishment. He kind of pushed Andrew Yang to the side, and he was talking about he wasn't out 4 years and he threw and stuff like that. So now the debris is the past, all of the debris gone with this scenario, right? So Andrew Yang is looking back and seeing Joe Biden was just a politician talking politician lies that Joe Biden do. That's another reason why I'm maybe not a fan of Joe Biden. And if you don't believe me, look, I'm a good judge of personality. And Andrew Yang do not have a good poker face. And I do like that about him because he's a genuine person. He don't have to have a poker face for lies, right? So when he's talking about Joe Biden, he's not trying to say nothing bad about Joe Biden, but you can look on his face that Joe Biden had did some politician backstabbing type of thing to Andrew Yang. But Andrew Yang is still at the same time, it's not about that. He's trying to look about it's about the people, not about really Joe Biden, but he understands the circumstances of the situation. So I digress, but you can see the rest. Look at Andrew Yang's face.
More than I think they might be able to beat the next Trump. If they don't give more, they probably lose to the next Trump. And the next Trump might be worse than this Trump was. He might be.
Okay. What he trying to say about that with the next Trump is, just imagine somebody with the same belief system as Donald Trump that's sharp as a politician like Joe Biden. That's the monster he talking about that can be created. David Duke is an example. He from Louisiana. I've been knowing that man since I was a child. And he's always been a white supremacist, and he always pushed it up front. He always talked about it. And he have a lot of people that's back him in Louisiana. So when I seen that let me know that it's possible. When I seen Donald Trump and more people came out to vote for him this time, so that's igniting this flame to say there's a bigger possibility of this coming. I don't think they need was somebody to be more polished. If they wouldn't have had this pandemic, Donald Trump would have won himself landslide.
Be competent and malignant and like effective, whereas Trump was kind of this blundering narcissist buffoon. You know, if you have like a true effective fascist, candidate, like they might be able to do more harm than Trump did, as hard as that is to believe for some people.
Yeah, I don't think America realizes how close we were to the death of democracy. Like, I've been calling Trump a fascist for the last 2 years, but boy, if he'd have got back in.
And there was that terrible time Tuesday night where we were like, oh my gosh, is this?
Hey, Steve, check this out. I have a previous video. I had talked about it previously a little while ago on this video, but I have a whole video dedicated to how Donald Trump can prove voter fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a part of the Forward Party. That means I'm not for Donald Trump, but by me not being for Donald Trump, that don't mean I'm for Joe Biden. You get what I'm saying? That's how I'm taking it. I'm literally neutral in this situation because for me personally, neither candidate did nothing for me to make me want to be like, okay, I'm a Trump supporter. Oh, I'm a Biden supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. So why should I go out and vote for Biden if I'm not one of his supporters? I'm not. Even Yang say, oh, we just need to go vote. No, I'm not. I'm not voting for a person if this person is not holding up to my belief system. I don't care who he plan on going against or who this person going against. I'm not voting for you if you're not a part. And they talked about this here. See, that's the thing. They said, go out and vote, vote, vote. Y'all need to go. Don't vote if you don't have nothing to vote for. Hey, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not responsible for the truth that you may or may not hear. I digress.
This happening again? Remember that? Like Tuesday night, you're watching the returns. You were like, what is going on? Like this feels familiar in a very, very terrible way. And this is coming from someone, you know, like I understood the ins and outs. Like I understood mail-in voting. I understood that there's going to be a shift. I understood all that. And still, like Tuesday night, you had that feeling in deja vu.
Yep.
Hey, and since I want to talk more about Andrew Yang because I'm part of the Yang game. See, I didn't realize in 2020, Andrew Yang knew he wasn't gonna be able to win. But if the pandemic would have hit, I think he would have got a bigger boost if he would have stayed in just a little bit longer. But I know what he was trying to do. He said, well, this is such a foreshot. Maybe in 2024, he had a better chance because the only thing that Andrew Yang was missing was name recognition. So that's why he took the job on seeing, you know, so people could start seeing his face. He needs that name recognition. Now, I'm a part of the Yang gang, and I understand, like him coming on the Breakfast Club, and all this, he need to keep this going for the next all the way to 2024. That way, when you see everybody, when they see Andrew Yang's face, they'll recognize him as a household name. That's the only thing that Andrew Yang was missing in 2020. If he was been recognized as a household name to everybody, all of his policies made sense to everybody. It didn't matter if you was a Democrat or Republican. That's why Andrew Yang really needs to stand on the fact of in 2024, do not run as a Democrat. Make sure that you run as an independent, forward moving party, and everybody will follow you. You will be the first candidate to get elected as third party, right? And that will break up this whole Democrat and Republican thing. We need to break that up completely. And the only way to do that is we run a third party. People was talking about it in different ways of doing it. And if you put a name like the Forward Party, because they'll make you thinking that this person going left and we going forward, it all makes sense. And then that's why I said put the American eagle as the logo, not an elephant or a donkey, right? Or whatever it is. So don't put those two, you know, say how you got these two and you got the eagle, and the eagle represent the people, right? So that means everybody. It don't matter if you was a Trump supporter, it don't matter if you was a Biden supporter, Kamala Harris, Bernie Bro, or whatever you came in, you welcome inside of the Yang gang. That's what makes it so special, because it's about the American people. It don't matter your race, your gender, your nationality, your religion, your belief system, etc., etc. But we all come together on common things that all American people need. So that's why I'm proud to say I'm part of the Yang gang. And then if y'all know about Dave Chappelle, he's a black man married an Asian woman, so he know about different diverse things that going on as well. Now, with that being said, he wasn't no hood, raised in the hood, but he'll let you know. So therefore, he have a little bit of a middle class upbringing, and that's what he at least want. Well, all of the people to have at least the bar minimum should be that. Anyway, I digress.
How much do Democrats owe black people, Yang?
They owe them the entire democracy, the country, this win, Joe and Kamala being poised to become the next president or vice president. I mean, that there's owe you everything, because like you said, everything was on the line with this election.
So if you were sitting down, if you were part of the cabinet, which you might end up being, how would you tell that administration to address, like, let's just say the racial wealth gap for Black and white people in this country?
I would say we need to put cash into people's hands in a very big, dramatic way. And that would have an enormous impact on communities of color, first and foremost, because like or not, communities of color are often operating from a lower base. It's like you come in and you start giving $1,000 a month, like I was proposing, or $2,000 a month is what there's an Emergency Money for the People Act in Congress that has 41 co-sponsors. Imagine $2,000 a month going to every American. That's a game changer for everyone. And that had a chance of that to me was the right move in the midst of the pandemic. And anyone who looks at the $1,200 that people got, you should know that's a very, very small fraction of the $2.2 trillion CARES Act. Like the $1,200 checks we got added up to maybe something like 6% of the 2.2 trillion. So where'd the other 94% go? Not us. Like we actually could afford something dramatic like $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month measure at the same levels as the current price tags that are being pinned to these bills.
Would you call that reparations, or would you call it universal basic income?
I'd call it universal basic income, which I see as a step that would prepare us for grappling with the legacy of slavery and reparations.
When you talk about messaging, right? Because I think Democrats' messaging is terrible. When you talk about words like reparations or terms like defund the police or packing the courts, is it really the messaging or the message? Because the message isn't wrong with any of those things we're talking about. Is it just that headline?
Fox is really effective at charging certain terms with very powerful negative associations. If you sit down an average American in Iowa or Ohio and you say, hey, do you think your healthcare costs are too high? They'll say yes. It's like, do you think you should have healthcare if you lose your job? Yes. What do you think about socialized medicine? I'm like, oh, hate it. It's like, because they've been trained like socialized medicine, terrible. So they've been trained to have that kind of association with certain terms. And Fox profits to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars a year by ginning them up. And their viewership, we all should know this, their viewership is about twice that of CNN or MSNBC. They're striking chords that hit with a bigger section of the population. So the solution is in many ways just to change the terms. You know what I mean? Like if you get into the substance of it, I just talked to someone today who said, they polled a bunch of people and said defund the police, and everyone's like hate it. And it's like, hey, do you agree with trying to shift like some proportion of the police budget to community health and education and volunteer? And they're like, oh yeah.
All right, look, check this out. Let me say a scenario that happened down here, right? I'm from North Baton Rouge. Now in North Baton Rouge, we had 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 hospitals, right? In North Baton Rouge. Charity Hospital, some other hospitals are right. Now, this is the scenario. If y'all don't believe me, y'all can go look it up. They have the hospital, it was called Earl K. Long. The hospital, it was a charity hospital I was born in. When I forgot which governor it was, when they closed it down and to keep people from, because it had it'd been up for so long that it could have been labeled as a landmark, so it was able to be rebuilt or reopened or whatever like that. They did not want this house. They didn't want no hospital in North Baton Rouge for the people, that they tore the whole building down. The other hospital that we had in North Baton Rouge, what they did was they closed it down and they turned it into the police headquarters, the hospital, right? Now the other hospital, we had another hospital that was all the way at the end of North Baton Rouge, start of South Baton Rouge, where they partially shut this one down, and you can only go there under certain conditions, right? So now if you're in North Baton Rouge, you can't go to the hospital. They took all of the hospitals out of North Baton Rouge. And with that being said, they changed one of the main hospitals and made it the police headquarters. So now we don't have hospitals. We have more law enforcement to govern us and stand on top of us and force us and make us feel like we are slaves to the society. But anyway, I digress about this. It's kind of touched me close because I didn't never like the fact that they tore all of our hospitals down and left us with none. And then we're gonna go build all the way on the other side of the other side. So we have to leave from our side. It might take about 30, 45 minutes just to ride all the way on the other side of Baton Rouge. From one side, especially if you stay all the way at the end of Baton Rouge, and then you got to drive to the other side on the end. Might take you an hour just to get to the hospital. And they had 3 of them that was in our area where the people was able to go to. My proposal that to keep stuff like this open, only thing they had to do was like this. Okay, for doctors and stuff, they have, just because this doctor bill is, okay, you go to school and and they rack up all these school bills, right? So what they need to do is put a mandate up, okay, for a doctor, they have to put in so many hours of community service on this to knock down some of these bills that they have to pay for the next 20 years, just to balance it out and use some of this money to fund other kids that's coming up to become doctors and nurses and stuff. And then you put in these hours and you use these charity hospitals for real good doctors to come in to help out. And then they always coming in and you bringing more doctors in. I mean, these charity hospitals, so I understand you're not with primary care doctors and stuff, but you got to have these close, surgeons and stuff like that, because an hour away can change somebody's life, can cause somebody's life or whatever like that. And then you might, even if you got to call it ambulance, the ambulance still had to get to you. So with that being said, that's a messed up on society for them to be able to do something like that and actually pass it where people are not able to go to the doctor, but they are able to get arrested just for the most simplest things.
Yeah, I agree with that.
like literally, the police, people just are confused with it and don't understand.
Oh yeah, or like defund the police seems maybe too absolute, or maybe they think it means like go to zero, which I know some people who are arguing for defund the police, are arguing for go to zero. But like other people arguing defund the police are arguing for
Louisiana
testing, which is like, hey, would you take some of the budget and move it over to?
I'm from Louisiana. It's a Republican state. Racism is like right in front of your face. And if you anything about that type of thing, it's like Louisiana and Mississippi is like, still right there. So it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out the scenario that we live in.
These other programs. So it really is a language problem, guys. And one of the things that we're making a mistake about, in my opinion, is that we're taking a term and then Fox gins people up against it, and then we're just like leaning into that term, and then we just end up with this clash that no one wins really. So it's one reason why I renamed universal basic income the freedom dividend, is because I tested different names for universal basic income with a lot of people. We had like pollsters, frankly, and universal basic income, social security for all, opportunity dividend, prosperity dividend, all tested the same with liberals and progressives, and poorly with conservatives. Like conservatives didn't like it. But then when you named it the freedom dividend, it had the same approval rating among progressives, and then a much higher approval rating with conservatives. So then I was like, well, screw it. Let's just name it freedom dividend. Because I don't care what I name it. I just want to try and get the thing done. So we should be trying to frame some of these policies in terms that people will not have a negative reaction to or not be.
Okay, see, what I like about that statement right there, when I was watching the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, what boiled my water in my body so 1,000 degrees was the fact of when they was asking them about problems and what are they going to do to solve problems. Okay, even with the pandemic, when they would ask Joe, okay, y'all know what Trump said. But this is the key thing. When they asked Joe Biden about it, he sounded like a little child. The only thing he got to point him, yo, Trump didn't do this here. He didn't do this here. He should have did this here. He should have did that. I'm looking at him like, bro, I don't care about that. If you want to talk about you becoming president, you talk about the day that you come into office and what you're going to do to combat this here. Don't talk about what he did and didn't do. Sound like a child. But when I was hearing that, it was like the only thing that I heard was, I'm gonna reduce the number, but he ain't did nothing. But I would say, how you gonna do it? What you gonna do? What's your plan? What's the method? What's we going by? What's the game? What is we doing? Nobody to this day know what Joe Biden plan is about for the pandemic. We just kind of hoping he do better than what Trump did. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And with that being said, Trump exposed it when he was talking about the Ebola virus, and he was like, oh, it was a breakdown, and we kept it contained, and this and this and that and stuff like that. Then Trump said, you know what? That virus wasn't as potent, and it wasn't as more widespread as this coronavirus. All other countries going through the same thing. So if Joe Biden, anybody would have been in office, they'd have been going through the same thing right now. But that's neither here or there. What is here or there is I'm hearing them talk about this back and forth with each other. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about what we're going to do, how you going to do it, and what you're going to do, and the way you're going to do it. And they never did that. The only candidate that I heard talk about ways of solving problems, changes, how to do better, make better, move progress was this man right here. I digress.
Be charged up about. It's funny. It's a little bit like playing whack-a-mole, where like Fox will like end up, managing to negatively charge certain terms. And you're like, all right, let's just like change it up, change it up on them. Republicans are really good at naming stuff. I don't know if you guys have noticed this stuff. Like they changed the estate tax to the death tax. They have like anti-union rules. They call them right-to-work rules. Like they just love naming stuff. It's really clever.
Simple, though. That's very digestible. Right to work. Yeah, I want the right to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they called it union busting laws. You'd be like, well, let me think about that one. But you call it right to work, then it becomes really positive sounding. They're really good at naming things positively, and we are less good. like we name something, and then we just stick with it. And then even when it's not working, we're like, why don't you like it?
How would you reframe socialism? What would you rename that?
I was running on human-centered capitalism, which is that instead of Amazon stock price or GDP being the measures of the economy, it should be our health, our mental health, clean air and clean water, how our kids are doing, freedom from substance abuse. The fact is, right now, we are GDP. 28th in the world by various measurements, like the ones I just named. We're like 30th in clean water. We're maybe 30th in infant mortality. Like really basic things that the richest country in the world should not be 30th in, like that's where we are right now. And this to me is what we're talking about with the central failure of the Democratic Party, is that when Democrats were in power, these measurements were trending downward. Republicans in power, these measurements are trending, like our way of life is getting worse. And what we need to do is we need to start pinning government accountability to how we are doing. The problem right now is we worship GDP and stock market prices, and they're going up and up while we are not. And then we're left looking up saying, like, why is this not connected? We have to reconnect it by saying, look, government should have these goals. They should be on a dashboard, literally in the White House and the halls of Congress for us all to see and say, look, you've got 4 years. Improve our life expectancy, improve our kids' access to education, improve our clean air and clean water. Right. And if you don't, then we can all point to it and say, well, it didn't go the right direction. Right now, government's actually not being held accountable to any of these things.
Wow. I got a couple more questions. Tell me what's the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act? Because I've been seeing you.
Hey, that right there, it actually makes more sense because what is we actually doing? What is the purpose? Why is we trying to progress to make it easier and better for our kids in the future to have? What is the progress? What is the change? Why is we doing this here? The reasons why we're doing this here, and with the progress, what is direction that we going in? So with that being said, that's what we need to be looking forward into doing, not pointing the finger at the other person. We need to be looking forward to the future, as in not just solar energy. Let's think about when they throwing up these houses, right? Not say these I forgot what they call them, where they family efficient houses, well, so they're moving people in and they're building these neighborhoods and stuff up, right? You could build, when you build in these neighborhoods, make it more efficient. Like, let's say, for example, you can have the whole neighborhood running on solar, and you can have his own water supply, right? So now people don't have to pay these water bills, and then you neighborhood by neighborhood, and then you can even do stuff like when you have a big neighborhood, a poor neighborhood that don't have money, instead of just saying, okay, I'm gonna buy up all of, trying to buy up all the land and try to, people not gonna move, then you still buy other different properties, right? And then you can offer people different stuff like this here, like, hey, what about this here? We built this house here. You can move into this house here. We're gonna restructure these houses here. And then when we restructure your houses, but they say with no cost, just because of the government, and we redoing like the alleys and the banks and stuff like that to make it more self-efficient and more prosperous. And then y'all can move back into these houses, give a time period and have it like this here. And then people will be more successful to say, oh, you're gonna redo the gates, the back fences, this area here, y'all gonna clean this here out, bring it, level this here. Then y'all gonna move us back on this side here, which we own our stairs, same plat with y'all to help build. And then we could actually help design or come with the plots and the plans. And if a person wanted, it's a whole bunch of different things. And then that could open up jobs, and that could insinuate for more people, more workers, more things to do. And then with a UBI, okay, more pleasant to the ears, freedom dividend will be helping people to start their own businesses and to purchase tools and stuff to actually work to do it, to have the things to do, because that's what a lot of people are missing, is the actual tools, because they have the skills, but they don't have the money to get the tools, because all their money is sucked up into paying bills, these monthly subscriptions. But with that being said, I digress.
Throwing jab Dana White a little bit.
So there are two related industries. The WWE and UFC, well, they're not industries, they're companies, but they're both quasi-monopolies, and they're both exploiting workers at very, very high levels. And the WWE, they're saying you're an independent contractor, even though I control every aspect of your life. One of them sent me the contract. It's crazy. Like the summary is, we own you, but you're somehow still an independent contractor. We don't have to pay for your healthcare, your travel, like retirement benefits, time off.
What?
Like we don't have to do with any of that.
So they own the name, the rights and everything to the name and everything. So pretty much you don't get anything but that little fee that you get, and that's it.
Yeah, and even now they're saying you can't even be on Twitch, can't be on Cameo. Like some of these people are making their living off of Twitch and Cameo.
Wow.
And the WWE came in and like, we own that too. So they're independent contractors. It's ridiculous. So you have to go in and fix that with the National Labor Relations Board action, saying, look, this is ridiculous. Like, you can't call them independent contractors if you're controlling every aspect of their lives and careers.
Yeah, with that being said, what they need to do is you own the rights to your own name. Now, if I own my own rights to my own name, you can do what you want to do on your own time. With that being said, they do need to fix this, because people are getting fired from their jobs about what they do on their off time and their off moment, whatever they want to do. That has nothing to do with the job, nothing to do with how good they do their job. But they still can get fired for something that they post on social media that has nothing to do with their job. That means they control your life. So if you feel like you off of work, but you still gotta abide by these rules, but you're not getting paid to do this, I digress.
Number two, the Ali Act is for the UFC. The UFC should not be controlling rankings and belts, and then also be the promoter. So why is
I seen Joe Rogan commend Andrew Yang for this here. See, what I was telling people about what Andrew Yang is doing right now, the only thing that he was missing in 2020 was name recognition. He got a boost from Joe Rogan, and he got a boost from the Breakfast Club, right? But with those two, it wasn't enough to get him over the edge. Now he going on CNN, and I guarantee when it's time for the race to start, let's say if he go with Democrat, right? If he go with Democrat, he will be one of the only people that's a Democrat that can go on Fox News and then turn around on CNN and be able to get all of the voters, let's say from Fox, there's Republicans, to see him more than the Democrats can. That's going to be trying to find the ways to get to the Republicans. They're not going to be able to get to this person, right? So with that being said, Andrew Yang is putting in the real groundwork. So I understand why he dropped out in 2024. It hurt me as a person, as a part of the Yang gang, as a person, but I understand. And with that being said, continue doing your thing, because I digress. Matter of fact, while I digress, I'm gonna finish the piece here. I'm gonna pull up real quick, like then put some sugar and do the stir. You're gonna hear the ching, 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 like on what it was, Us or Left Out or something, Get Out, where the woman had the coffee, she got the stirring, well, she had tea. This is coffee, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this community too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, toast, yeah, drink up, all that good stuff. But we finna finish this shit, I'm finna go pull up.
Boxing payday, tens of millions of dollars, and a UFC payday has historically been much lower. And if you look at lower level UFC fighters, they're making chicken scratch relative to it. I mean, the UFC at this point is a multi-billion-dollar org, and you have fighters on TV, on ESPN, making like $16,000 or $32,000, like stuff that you just could not make a living on, really. And right now, fighters are getting about 15% of revenues. In major sports, it's 50%. And one reason that is that they essentially have a stranglehold on everything. So the Ali Act would change that, where MMA would get treated like boxing, where the promotion can't both control the rankings and the purse, and the promotion, like you actually separate it out.
How the hell do you have time to care about that shit with all that's going on in the world?
I'm a fight fan, I watch that stuff, and so I just feel bad when I see human beings exploited.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you'd throw in this category, NCAA athletes, like they should be getting paid.
Definitely.
Like tens of millions. Pretty much when I see exploitation on TV, it pisses me off. It's like we're being entertained, but we're like, wait a minute, these kids are, generating millions for these schools and the broadcasters and the rest of it, and they can't get paid like anything for autographing jerseys, whatever it is. Like, it's crazy. Same thing is true in these other industries. So when I see it, it pisses me off.
That's right. We're going after Love and Hip Hop next. They exploit people on reality TV all the time.
See, that one I don't know enough about.
I don't know that one. Okay, so listen, does Donald Trump end up in jail when all of this is over?
I don't think he ends up in jail. I think worst case he would end up hanging out in another country.
Really?
Trumping it up in broadcasting. I think that would be the move before he winds up in prison.
Don't you have to though, to show people you can't, just break the law? Like there's nobody above the law. Don't you almost have to pursue charges against him in some way?
Oh, what I'm saying is the pursuit of charges is one thing, but Donald Trump would be much more likely to fly the coop to someplace we don't have an extradition treaty.
So you expect charges to be brought up against him?
Oh, I certainly think there's going to be there are going to be various civil actions for sure. I don't know about criminal. So civil actions would be some of the financial dealings. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he owes people hundreds of millions of dollars, so people will be coming for that.
Yes.
Wow.
Word. Well, Yang, thank you, man.
Appreciate you for checking in, brother.
Appreciate you guys. I didn't know it was going to be a Breakfast Club reunion, which made me happy. Really, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. And you should know that, I'm thinking about New York City very seriously about just the fact that people are suffering. And if there's something I can do to help, I'm going to look at it very hard.
Yeah, run for mayor in New York. That would help extremely.
And not to tap your pockets, right? But every year, you donate it. We do this thing called Change for Change. And this year, what we're doing a little differently is instead of finding an organization to donate the money to, we're actually going to find people who need it. So somebody who might be able to can't afford formula, we might give them some money to pay for formula. Somebody who, let's say, they can't pay their car note or needs help on their mortgage or needs help or whatever. We're going to hit individual people and just give money to them.
Yeah,
you gave the $1 million to the Bronx.
Yeah, I love that. We're up to 10 million now. Wow. Not all to the Bronx, but we put $1 million in the Bronx, and then the other 9 went everywhere. So probably someone in the Bronx got it. But I obviously love people helping people. I'll put $5,000 into that right now.
Okay.
All right. And then so that'll be me personally. But like you said, Charlamagne, my org is doing everything it can to help because there's a lot of need right now.
Okay, well, thank you, Andrew Yang, for that $5 grand. We appreciate it.
Andrew Yang just dropped $5 grand on the Breakfast Club.
Don't be a stranger, man. We need your voice. I want to keep my audience. I want to keep our audience engaged with politics, even when it's not elections happening.
Maybe I'll see you guys in Georgia. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll see you guys down there.
Definitely.
I ain't be in Louisiana while y'all in Georgia, but at the same time, I'm with it too. But man, appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. That was Andrew Yang, man. He is one of the people that I say is a stand-up guy. I mean, I get the whole concept of you got to walk light and tread light when it comes to certain topics about certain people and how you say things and how you present things. I mean, he trying to be this politician, which he's not, I mean, even when he was using profanity, I like him just being able to speak freely. And I never was a fan of a person trying to say something or have to pretend to be a certain way or say something a certain way. I never was a fan of that. I always was a fan of be who you are. Be proud of who you are, regardless of who you are. I can trust a person that I know compared to a person that I don't know what they're going to do. Even if they're going to steal. I know this person, the thief, he going to steal, but I trust him to steal, so I know what to do, what he come around. I don't like a person that was hit you behind the head that you don't see it coming, like bam, bam, like you in a wreck and you ride. You just see them car to them shows, and even on the commercial, they riding, they talking in the car. Yeah, we going to do such and such. What we got for on lunch today? I was thinking about sloppy joes, but why we do sloppy joes? We can just boom, you know that, and then that's how it happens. But that's why I'm saying though with Andrew Yang, I'm just proud to see him still going, and he gonna be around for a very long time. So as long as the Yang gang, we're gonna keep standing and pushing. Just remember, we not about you being a Democrat. We're not about you being a Republican. We about you being American and about pushing the country forward. We don't care about what this other person say about this other person with this other person. We doing to this other person. We about how can we solve problems. Just it, nothing more, nothing less. How can we solve problems and move this country forward? We're not about what side you on. We about everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me, it's about we. So everybody, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for coming, because this is something that I love doing and have fun doing. So we need to do more often, because these are one of the things that, it just fits so perfectly around the environment. But yeah, man. Everybody, y'all appreciate it. Y'all see the comments, all y'all up. You know what I'm saying? This your boy Triple Cup Chuck. And remember, I don't do this for me. I do this for we. Man, Shady says, I got some poison about Donald Trump. Oh, look at the other video too. I don't know how to do all that fancy stuff where they be having these pictures pop up here and there. But y'all get the concept. I'm getting there. What's good with it, JJ? Hey, I'm getting there, so I'm going to get with the pictures and stuff. Because, man, this is fun. And I like how everybody drops their opinion, because I'm a person. Oh, I want to talk about other stuff too. Flat earth theory, string theory, all that type of stuff. I see nerd type stuff. I mean, in the evening time, I want to start talking about video games and movies, and then maybe do some type of stuff where we talk about, because I see aliens, spaceships, Area 51, all these types of things. The Mandela theory, where if you don't know, you remember something somewhere in all these types of things. That's the type of stuff I want to direct it in, because we're gonna be doing synergy. If y'all don't know what the word synergy means, it's collective mind, group thinking of everybody putting together to make one big thing. Yeah, all that good stuff. But rest in peace, Mo 3. Shout out to everybody that got themselves an Xbox Series X. Everybody that's rocking the PlayStation 5, playing that, or gonna be playing Miles Morales, the Spider-Man, all that stuff, man. I'm with it. We're gonna do some gaming and stuff like that. Oh, and I don't mind if y'all want to say y'all opinion, y'all chat. If y'all want to just jump in, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm open, long as you just be respectful and you have your opinion about how you feel about the situation. I am not here to judge no one. I don't, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I'm not here to judge, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not responsible for the truth that you may or may not hear. It's your boy Triple Cut Chuck, and I'm out again all the time. I can say out 100 times, but I still got some coffee in my cup. Hey, toast, drink something, share, subscribe.